Hi. So, what I want to talk about today is shadow needs and fragmentation. So, I'll talk about what shadow means. So, when we talk about shadow, it's talking about the subconscious. So, there's conscious things that you're aware of, and then there's subconscious things. And so, let's just talk about and all these shadow needs are kind of like aspects of yourself that were like, let's just say moments in time where you wanted something or you needed something, and then you kind of just push that to the back of your mind, but you never really got closure over that. um and so this whole video is kind of like a part two for the law of expansion video that I made. And because I talked about desires, but then I kind of realized there's so many shadow desires and needs that people go after, but it's not actually in alignment with their higher self. So it's like it's not actually it's not the true. It's not what they actually want. But it's just what they think they want, because the real need is suppressing in the subconscious. So you can't see it. You don't know about it. It's in the shadow. So like I'll talk about something that I've heard quite a bit recently that just gave me alarm bells from multiple people, that it's a shadow aspect, like desire. And the and the cause of it could be different, like the actual need that's in alignment with what you actually want might be different for different people who do the same thing. But I'll just talk about like a classic thing. So something that I've heard is people going after like 90 plus ATARs and stuff like that, um, and just not knowing what they want from it. So, like some people love school, and in their alignment is to learn, and they love school, and they love English, and they love, like maths or science or whatever, whatever subject they like, and it might actually be in alignment to do really well in that class. But I can almost guarantee for like most people, like their joy in life isn't just being a student. Like normally you get an ATAR that you want based around what you want to do after school. And for me, it just sounds like they're breaking their backs trying to get this thing, and they don't even know why they want it, kind of thing. It's almost like saying, "Oh, I'm going to build this pyramid, but I don't actually enjoy building pyramids, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the pyramid once I make it. I might have to end up just like, tearing it down if it doesn't actually have any use, but I'm going to try and build it." Like, why are you doing that? Like I can think of like a really simplistic like thing to break it down to, like what the actual alignment desire might actually be. It might just be, when you were a kid and you had like really high achiever parents, and you only got love once you and praise and actual like attention if you did something really well. Like, look, I did really good in my thing, I got an A. Like, oh, good job. um so what that person might actually want isn't success and like to be like an A plus student. What they actually want, what they would get by doing and being that, is they would get love, and that's what that would mean. So they're subconsciously trying to do something to get this, but they're not going straight to the desire. They're kind of like taking the highway, because it's how they think they'll get it, because that's how their brain works. Um, so that's that. So like, and to do this process for yourself, you can kind of ask yourself, if you like, let's just say like with the law of expansion thing, and you think of a desire and stuff, just ask yourself a question: why do I want that? And then once you answer that, and you'll ask, well, why do I want? And you can keep asking why, and it'll like at the end of the day, it'll come down to love and connection. It always does. Um, so what's I gonna say? Uh, yeah. So oh yeah. So pretty much. So I'll do an opposite thing. So this is something that I did pretty recently, because I realized, and you can do it for opposite things as well. Well, why do I hate this thing? And then it'll always come down to love and connection as well. So I despise doing things that I don't like. I just feel like running away and just like legit, like, I just feel like rebelling completely. So like if I hate English class. I hate it. Like I like even this year I've changed. Like it's only been what like 2 or 3 weeks of Year 12, and I've already changed like 3 classes in the past few weeks. And I've been, like, and I just, because if I don't like it, like, suddenly I just have no responsibility. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. Um, like, just something inside me wants to run. So, and if I could drop English, I fucking would. So I asked myself, well, why, I might actually get it up. I've got it on my computer. Let's do it. Okay. Where are you? Okay. I cannot find it. That's okay. So I can't even remember what I was saying. So I asked myself, why don't I like doing things that I don't want to do? And then I said, well, if I didn't want to do it, there's like, it can't, oh, fuck, wait, no, I want to get this because I answered it very well. Because if it helps if you write it down. What the fuck? It's just gone. That's so weird. Okay. Um, okay, so I think I said something like, why is it, oh no, so like, why is it bad to do things that you don't like? Because, and then I said something like, it's, um, pretty much like, so, and so then it's kind of just said something like, oh, if I didn't want to do it, someone's probably making me do it. And like, it came down to trust issues, like, like, and then it came down to trusting people. If because the logic that I had that I kind of found out by asking myself these questions was, well, if I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't be doing it. So I feel forced into this situation of having to do something, but I don't trust that me having to do something and someone telling me to do it is in my best interest. It's because I got screwed over, obviously, as a kid. So it kind of came down to be like, well, if I don't want to do this and someone's making me do that, they don't have my best interest at heart, like, kind of thing. Like, it kind of turned into that. It turned out into trust issues. Like, literally, from me wanting to run away from English class, stemmed from me just not trusting that the world has my back. If I don't want to do it, I can't trust that it's actually going to be in my best interest. Like, that's just that's just what my brain was doing. Um, and so also things about desires that I wanted to talk about were so you can have so people are fragmented. So people have multiple aspects within themselves that want different things. So let's just say, um, like, oh, I really want love. Let's just say that's one of my desires. Oh, I want a girlfriend, or I want, a friendship, I want yada yada, whatever, like, I just want love. A part of you, like, might think, like, you might have a subconscious aspect of yourself that never got closure, that got really fucking hurt by being close to people and trusting people and letting people in. And that part of might be screaming, don't you fucking do that to me. I'm not going to let you, like, it has a wall and just will not let anyone in. And it's like, we'll fight you to the death over letting someone in. And they are both very equal aspects of yourself. So when you have a desire that contradicts another desire that you have internally, it's like internal warfare. And it doesn't need to be extreme, either way. Just there's no one single view on the same point. I think within people, like, a lot of the time people have contradictory aspects. So like, for me, like, I'll just be honest, like, I don't really give a fuck. Like just last night, so I've had some like repressed like, it's not so like recently I've had some repressed memories come up, and I've kind of been dealing with it. And I kind of went into the the aspect of myself that was back then. And what I kind of found was when I have the emotion of trying to like let people in, um, alarm bells go off, and it's like, no, 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 like that's not happening. Like it's literally like war. So so I went into like the aspect, and a visual just came up of like, like have you seen like, so if you've seen like Harry Potter and like one of the last ones, it was literally like a Horcrux moment. So um, when Voldemort's like in the train station and Harry's kind of like in that white area, and it's kind of just like, it's almost like an aspect of Voldemort. It's literally like, and he was like a baby, and he was like all like rare and like wounded and stuff like that, and he was kind of like in a ball, because it wasn't in reality. It was just kind of like eternally in like suffering and like not being able to do anything and just being like curled up kind of thing. That was pretty close to what that aspect of me metaphorically felt like. And so like I didn't know how to make it feel better. I'm like, oh my god, what am I going to do with this? Just so I was like, fuck, that's going to be healing. So and I kind of, and you have to ask it. You kind of just say, you kind of have to feel into what it wants. So if it's like, so that had a really big wall. It didn't want to let anyone in. It just wanted to like, you know, go be in pain and peace away and just curl up and never face the world kind of thing. So so for me, if I kind of thought, oh, I want this to heal, I want it to open its walls up, I want to take down its walls, and you're breaking it down, that's gonna like, that's gonna be like so detrimental, because it's like you're forcing it to do something it doesn't feel like. The whole point is that you want it to heal it, to make it feel safe, and to yada yada yada. So so I literally felt into it, and I was like, what does it need? It didn't want to let anyone, it wasn't ready to let anyone in. It just wasn't. So, but it didn't want to be alone. It just felt like it was alone and afraid kind of thing. So what I did was, I just kind of in my head, I kind of lied next to it, and I gave it at least, so I didn't force it to take down its walls. I didn't force it to accept me, to let me in, but it accepted my presence, and it liked not being alone, but it could still be in pain. I wasn't forcing it to change how it felt. And so you kind of like, and then you just take it one step at a time, and continuously feel into it. And because like it'll eventually like get better and better and better. But I think like one of the healing things is just like emotionally listening to it and not trying to heal it, and more like, I feel like when it comes to subconscious work with like aspects of yourself, it's a lot better to instead of the word healing, it should be like, I wish people would swap that with the word listening. Oh, it's time to listen to this aspect of myself, because that is what heals it. It's not like I'm going to heal it. The whole healing is listening. So I feel like it gets a lot better. The process comes better in my head of how to actually heal when you say the word, oh, okay, I'm going to listen to this aspect. And then you feel the emotions and you're listening to it. And that, because the whole point, that's how you get closure. And, like, especially, like, I just want to talk a bit about boundaries. Like, let's just say, so things with, like, spiritual tools, like, so let's just say one spiritual teacher gives advice for one person. That might be completely detrimental to another person, because everyone's so on different, like, levels of where they are emotionally and what's going on internally and what your internal wounds are. So let's just say someone's in a complete state of victimhood. I would say, oh, try and be angry about it. Because that's so when I say vibration, it's kind of like an emotional state. Because anger is a vibrational step up from victimhood. It's almost like you get like yourself back. You're like, oh yeah, that shouldn't have happened to me, and you almost get you kind of get your right to be back, instead of like, and you get your fight back. It's like, no, I don't need to take this. It's a step up, like. But if someone's not in the vibrational area of victimhood or shame, yada yada yada, and they're above anger, and they want to know how to go about that, I wouldn't tell them to try and feel angry about it. So, and that's the same with things like boundaries. Like if someone's got a problem with boundaries where they've got a lot of walls up and they've got a lot of that, I would say try working on just like try working on that. But if someone's got no boundaries completely whatsoever, and they just let people do whatever they want, and they just have no sense of self and no sense of acting on their sense of self, I would say you need to work on getting some fucking walls and some boundaries. So I feel like it's complete where people are is really you like the only person that can tell yourself is you. So you use your emotions to find out where you are. Because no one can tell you that. No spiritual teacher, like unless they've got something where they can like see your vibrations and your emotional states, like physically, and they can kind of take a guess and they can kind of feel into you. Apart from that, you're kind of on your own. So, and if you just hear a seminar kind of thing, and they're talking like Abraham Hicks, she does a lot of like high vibrational advice. But when people aren't at that level of being able to go from A to B, A to Z kind of thing, of just follow what you want, and they've got all these anchors that are like they actually cannot go from A to B. They need to work themselves up. So it's hard to listen to spiritual advice when it's not anywhere near what you're capable of doing from where you are. Um, so I think how you do that is you just listen to yourself, and then you work out what you need from that. Okay, bye.